Hello, students. So today we had the student congress, right? And there were lots of topics being discussed by many groups of panelists. So I joined the group that is discussing on the digital identity, which is an area that I'm pretty interested in, being one of the teachers in charge of looking into digital citizenship issues. What I find was the panelists did some work and tried to share as much as they can. However, I feel that there's more they could actually explore. I think they spend quite a lot of time trying to understand about security, online security, digital security, and how our personal data could be abused. It is something that we need to take note of. However, digital data protection is only one factor and one part of digital identity. I think when we talk about digital identity, there's more to consider. So one of the things that happened during the Q&A segment was someone bringing up the fact that there are many youngsters nowadays who on their social they have multiple accounts. Now, one of the main reasons why they have multiple accounts is that they have something like one for their main, and maybe another one they call it spam account where they use it to spam many things. All right, all kinds of things that they find interesting they spam. Now I understand the reason why they do that because they want to keep firstly their main account clean. Second, the spam account probably is a little bit more anonymous, so that allows them to actually share things without feeling too embarrassed. It seems like a good solution, but I have an issue with that, right? Because I can understand having multiple accounts because sometimes the target audience of the things that you post could be different, right? So, for example, this particular channel that I have right now is mainly used for me to share my thoughts as well as assignments, suggested solutions to their daily work to my students. So I expect the people who are viewing this channel to be my students. I do have other channels targeted at friends, families, and even strangers who are not my students. I haven't uploaded new stuff on that channel for a long time, but non educational things that I discuss over there, some other things, but no, not for my students. All right. So you have different target audience. Therefore, you have a channel and specific for that purpose. So sometimes you have your Instagram account, for example. I have an Instagram account where I share tidbits about my thoughts as well as my family. Um, and I do have admin rights to another one that I help to sometimes post things for my CCA, football, but I leave it to the captains nowadays. So sometimes we run a few accounts and it's meant for different audience. But that is because of different audience, not because I want to hide my identity in one of them and to show my identity in another. The idea of having a spam account to just spam things, I would say quite irresponsibly sometimes. You may think maybe you have some control, but it is just about a degree, right? So it's not just saying that you have responsibility and you don't have. It's about a whole range of levels of commitment towards being responsible about things that you share. So a spam account, we do have the tendency and the mindset that maybe I can be a little bit less responsible about the things I post compared to the main account. And I think this way of thinking is quite dangerous. Um, Unconsciously, you are not practicing what it means to be a responsible person, which is definitely not what we want in our young students who are really trying to teach them to be morally upright and to things very critically and clearly, and be responsible for not only themselves but the people they interact with. So to actually be consistent with this mindset and this level of commitment to the education, I don't recommend that at all. I believe we should be consistent in our identity first, right? So when I was preparing the framework on digital citizenship at my workplace, my school, I was considering this, and I came to the conclusion that we want to teach students to have no distinction between their real world identity and their digital identity. Uh, it is not to say that your digital identity you have to use your real name. You don't need to. But I'm saying that you don't hide who you are. But that doesn't mean that you share all your secrets online. No, I'm saying that the way you behave and you interact with people, so in the real world you are polite, you are honest, you are friendly. Then when you're online you start to throw people and flame people and do all kinds of things that you won't do in real life. Then something is wrong, right? So if you have a certain attitude, a certain attribute, if you are naturally courteous in the real life, we expect you to be also courteous online, right? So, as a teacher in real life, I'm always constantly thinking about what are some of the best things to say to a student, advice to give them so that they can mature into proper gentlemen and ladies. So when I'm online, these are things that I consider as well when I post stuff. So there's some form of consistency. So that should have no distinction whether is it online offline, which is why the idea of having a alternate account for the purpose of being a little bit anonymous, a little bit more casual in the things you post, I don't quite agree to that, because we want to be consistent in our moral compass and our sense of responsibility towards the way we interact with the social tools that we have. Yeah, these are my thoughts for the day after attending the congress. So something for you to consider, especially I know that most of the audience who eventually watch these videos are people who are comfortable with posting stuff online. Put some thoughts into it and see whether the things that you actually share online, the things that you say, the things that you comment on, is it consistent with your true identity in the real world, and are you displaying the correct kind of character and personality that you really want to grow into. All right, so that's all I have for the day. Have a nice day.